brothers, and the occasional sister. Welcome to the Bucket of Hairy Arseholes. It's not the right name for my boat, but it's a name that's been given by me for the last probably 2 weeks. I've been working on it. There she goes. Kauri hull, God knows how old it is. I've cleaned all the mussels off the bottom, around the prop, around the rudder. And as you may well know, if you're following my story here, I'm flushing out the engine. I'm flushing out the engine because both bilge pumps failed me. I'll show you the first bilge pump that failed. We'll just turn around. If you look down here, you'll see there's a bilge pump down there. That's the first one. You always have 2 bilge pumps in case the other one fails you. And then over here, we've got the switch down there, which operates, I don't know if you can see down there or not, the second one under there. I don't know if you can see, you might not. Anyway, one of you said that possibly the gearbox has also got water in it, and one thing at a time. I'm still working on the engine, and it's taken a shitload of time to take diesel out here in my dinghy. There's a 20 litre container there. Most of it's gone through the block. I've squirted up the inside and I've poured it in the top, and currently I've got this setup going on here, and I'm pumping out, and I've just done a whole one of these and I'm carrying on. It's been a very long and tedious job, and it's not finished by a country mile yet. I'm just going to pop the phone here. I hope it's going to stay here. Last time I stuck it here, it fell into the sump. Is it going to stay there, or is it going to fall into the sump again? Well, that's very precarious. Precarious? Is that a word? My vocabulary is not very good. So I'm down here pumping. If you'll watch this here, you'll see that I'm now down to a sort of a milky looking diesel. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's almost clear. We've almost got it clear. She's no longer sludge. So the next step after this, I think, is going to be putting in some oil and turn the engine over. I have to reconnect up the starter motor. Well, that's actually connected up. Put the alternator back in, and I've got a new belt for the alternator, and I've wired up the earth strap for the engine. I've crimped the new end of that. That's where we're at. Anyway, one of you has suggested there might be seawater in the gearbox. I'll deal with that later. Also, I've got to re-put back on the oil filter. I've taken that off as well, and given that it's actually soaking right now, I've cleaned it out, and that's where we're at with that. There's a huge amount of pumping, but I feel now that I've pretty much got as flushed as much as I can get it. It's still got a little bit of white in the diesel. It's not clear. I think we'll run a bit of oil through it. The main thing will be just get the engine going. Oh, we're just about coming to the end now. She's getting pretty thin. We're just about at the end of it. It's just while I'm talking to you guys, this is going to be all the thick stuff. It is colouring up a little bit. We'll let that for a bit and let it a bit of goop build up, but we're actually getting down to the wire, I think. It's taken a while. Yeah, still a bit there. I'll just let it settle again. I'm not sure whether to put another flush through. It's a little bit shitty. I'm going to let that just all sink to the bottom, because of course it sticks on the sides. That's where we're at. Wow, what a day it's been. What a day it's been. This morning I picked up a friend from hospital, and we drove out to Wakefield. I dropped my friend off there, and then I come home, did all the jobs, and it's 6 o'clock now, and I was thinking I need to get back into this job because it's bothering me having it sitting out here and not running. And it's one of those jobs that it's so easy to put to the back of your mind, and this year my aim is to tackle all the little horrible jobs in life first. Actually, I decided that 2 weeks before New Year's Eve. It wasn't a New Year's resolution. I don't think you need to have a New Year's resolution. I think you make a resolution any day of the week. It might be on Easter, or it might be on your birthday, or it might just be a random day. So I decided that I was going to start tackling all the little shitty jobs. I come out here to tackle what I've been putting off. I didn't realise the engine was in that state. I just come up here to wind her over, and she was taking on more water again. I found out where that is, and so I thought, okay man, that's what we're going to do. So it's a Kauri hull. It's got a Nuffield engine, as I've told you before, and I don't know anything about Nuffield engines. All I know looking at this is it's a 3-cylinder, because I can see 3 injectors, and it goes about 6 knots full speed, this old boat, when she's going like full steam ahead. the guy that sold me told it was going 8 or 9, but that's not true, because I put a GPS and I marked on it. And the ship's wheel's okay, the cab's okay, there's a lot of stuff that's actually okay. She's pretty tidy as far as old boats go. Some of the stuff works, some it doesn't, but we need to get it going. And when we get it going, I want to do a mission on it. Anyway, the reason I'm making these videos on the Brocheck Club, these videos, is just to get your input, because a lot of you guys will know more than me. A lot of you have experience with boats, and some of you watching this may be diesel mechanics or marine engineers, and you may have some suggestions. I can tell you that the stern gland, which is directly underneath me here, down here, is not leaking. Well, not leaking, a tiny little drip's coming through. And it has its own manual pumps. There's actually 3 bilge pumps. There's also a hand pump for the stern of the boat, because that's often where the water comes through. But we've got a crack in one of our ribs up here, and that's what's going on. So that rib needs to be replaced at some stage. It's actually, the leaking has virtually gone right down to, the pump goes about every hour and a half, the bilge pump, compared to the 5 minutes it was doing. So I have blocked it up. She's got a couple of legs that go on each side. I don't know if I can show you those from here inside the cab. There's a, I don't know if you can see at the window here, probably not. There's a little leg down there which goes on each side, one on the stern, one on the port, sorry, not the stern, one on the starboard, one on the port, and you can beach it. So you, high tide, you run the nose on the ground, drop a leg on each side, and this will stand up and you can work on it. And that's what I'll probably do once I get this donkey going. I won't get it going today. I'll pump it a bit more. I'm just letting it settle for a bit, and then I will carry on. I'm going to fill it up with oil. I've got some oil I've had sitting around for a long time. It's diesel oil. I don't think diesel oil expires, but I've got some diesel oil I found in the garage, and I'm going to fill it up to the dipstick, just to the low. I won't go all the way. I'll run the engine if I can get it started. That'll be the first thing, and then I'll run it for maybe 15-20 minutes, and then I'll drain all that oil out and refill it up again. That's the theory. I may put something in to clean it too. One of you suggested to put methylated spirits in there. I may do that before I do it. I'm not sure. Does anybody else have experience putting methylated spirits in an engine that has been swamped with seawater? Does anybody know anything about that? It's something I talked to the engineer about, and he's more of a trucks and tractors guy. He doesn't know much about boats, so he didn't know about it. But the guy, one of you that told me that, said that that was based on your experience from having 2 boats sunk. So I'd be keen to hear anybody else's experience of that, and what your experiences were, and what you actually, what you learnt from that, what you found. Is that going to sit there, or are we going to turn the phone off? Oh, she's just going to be alright. Yeah, we're good. We're back into it. I'm going to keep pumping. It's going to keep pumping this here. It's a tiny little space to be in, eh? It's like you're trying to get yourself comfortable. I really, I wonder about guys that work on boats. Like, there's boats that get smaller than this. Is it going to come out of there, or is it going to go on meat? It's fuck all left it. Oh no, she's still coming out. It's not a lot. It's not like we're going to poke that down inside there. You guys won't be able to see much, but at least it won't be squirting everywhere. Still some, but not a huge amount. So Crispy came and stayed with me off the channel. You would have seen the previous video with Crispy. We had a couple of days. He come to help me with stuff, but we ended up drinking coffee, drinking whiskey, singing songs and having fun, not actually doing a lot of work around the farm, which was good. It was a good break from this shithole. And I really am enjoying meeting more of you guys off the channel. Enjoyed doing the live feed. Well, this is definitely, you can hear that it's starting to come to the very end of the diesel. I think we're just about ready. To start putting some oil down here. It's a bit of goop coming out. Oh, it's all the thick stuff, is it? Not very nice, is it? It's kind of like, yeah, it's still got quite thick. I don't know if I should flush it through again with another lot of diesel. I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put another 2 litres, and I'm going to shoot it up from the sump. I'm going to reverse the polarity on the pump and shoot it up from the sump. That's what I'm going to do right now, and then pump that out. I'll take 2 litres out of the can, put it in the green one, pump it in, and then take it out again, and that'll be my last bit, I think. I actually haven't eaten today, and it's about 6:30 now, so it's highly unlikely, but you never know. Might catch a fish. I'd put one on the pan right now, cook it up, take a break, because there's kahawai up here all the time. So do a couple of casts, see how she goes, and we might get lucky and get dinner. I did that last time I was out here and caught a nice little kahawai, stuck it in the pan, and that my dinner, so I'll report back if we get something. No fish at all, half an hour and back at it. So before I started or wanted to pump diesel back up the sump, I thought I'd give this another pump after leaving it for half an hour, because I've been fishing for half an hour, and what I've noticed is it's a lot blacker. It's almost like it's back to oil. Well, not oil, but it's not. See that? Can you guys see that? No, probably not. It's darker. You probably can't see it from there because of the angle, but she's definitely darker. So, yeah. So it's like we're down past all that. She's definitely coming out darker. It was creamy white before, so that's new because there was nothing coming out before. I haven't added anything to it. Oh no, that's not true. I added a little bit of diesel to the top, and it's come down, it's flushed it out. So I'm not actually going to pump any more up. I put just a little bit of the rocker cover, and now it's coming out black, which is good. So I think what I'm going to do is, that's it, I've got it sorted. I'm not going to pump any more up the... Oh, maybe I should just to flush anything on the sides, because it'll be gook stuck to the sides of it. I'll flush that bit out first. We're definitely getting it flushed out. Who knows what's going to happen here. Anyway, just another boat bloody video. Nothing exciting for you guys. I'm really asking more for ideas on this than trying to find solutions to your problems. I'm just sharing my problem with you guys, because I think it's okay. It's a two-way relationship. You help me, I help you. I know there's people watching this that know more than I do. So your thoughts on it, anything you can add to it. As you can see, we've got this old belt here. This is it's an A49, and I've actually bought an A48 because you can't tighten it. And I've also got another one of these belts, the wee one, coming to one of those. Got to pick that up from Repco on Monday. I will keep you in the loop how we get on with this engine, and next time when I actually start to try to run it and turn it over the first time, I'll let you know how that's going too. I bought a multimeter. Didn't cost much compared to what it can do. It can do 7 functions, and I bought this here from the Mega Store. It's a digital multimeter. It's got 7 functions, 19 ranges, low battery indicator, overload protection, lead readout, and I'm going to go around all the wiring and check everything before I start it too, to make sure that it's working, and I'll also better make sure if the actual alternator is charging. That's me on the boat today. I'm going to carry on because there's nothing really more I needed to ask you. Thanks for listening, I appreciate it very much, and thanks for joining the Broadcheck channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, only subscribe if you like this sort of content. Don't feel you have to. I mean, it's really better to have like-minded people on board. It's a channel for men. I don't mind if women want to join us, that's fine, but it's solely for men, this channel. Men dealing with men's problems and men's issues. If there's any women that are enjoying it, then you're welcome to come along for the ride. I don't think you'll learn much about us blokes because we're pretty, I don't know, I guess we're just, most of the stuff that we really try to explain, we probably do it in a way that doesn't reach women anyway, and it's not designed to. It's trying to put everything in a way that men understand, so men can communicate and find solutions to their problems. This is a problem for me, and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to get it sorted one way or the other, and if I don't, I'm going to put a free to Kind Home sign on the side of it, and everybody that goes down here that pulls up will see it. If I get the engine going, well, that'll be a different story. I'll tidy up a bit more, put an anti-foul on it, make sure it's got no leaks, tidy it up, and fish in it for a while, and then I'll sell it. Or I might go down to the national park in the winter time and do a bit of hunting and fishing off it. Ross, one of my mates, offered to put some money towards a new boat, but I haven't taken him up on the offer. he wanted to buy me a little fiberglass boat, but I'd been kind of old school. Everything in this life you've had to work for, and it just doesn't feel right. And I know he really wants to do it, and I'm being a bit of a hypocrite because I always say to people, you know, always receive stuff gracefully, but I'm not so good at that myself. Yeah, there's a lesson there for me too. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now, I've got to deal with this. After I have dealt with this, then the next stage is to get my houseboat and put her up on the dry for a while, because it needs work too. And once it's on the dry and I've got rid of this or dealt with this, then I can get back to what I want to do, which is more hunting and fishing. Anyway, bit of a yak, bit of a ramble. Most of you probably stopped watching by now because I'm probably boring as fuck. But I just wanted to share with you where I'm at. And while you're at it, check on someone else other than me too. Check on a brother, and I mean that. Check on a brother. Anyone that you're not quite sure about, or anybody that you're concerned about, don't ring them up. Just go around uninvited, because generally they're not going to ask for help anyway, because men are bastards like that for not asking for help. Just go around and say, hey, I was thinking about you. And don't even ring them, just go around there and bring some tuck around. Always good to turn up to someone's house for something. Hey mate, I bought you a bit of venison, or I bought you a bit of wild pork, or I bought you some paua, or if he's a lucky bastard, I bought you some crayfish, or some whitebait, and just go and see him. That's what a brother does. A brother looks out for a brother. Go steady. See you later.